Hey everybody, Eagle Scout here with another gear video for what I'm going to be taking on the Appalachian Trail in 2019. This is going to be my clothing. I'm going to start off with what I'm going to be wearing when I actually step off a Springer, and then I'm going to go into what is going to be my pack for extra clothing and that kind of stuff. So just starting off, I'm going to start with what I'm going to be wearing on my feet. Is going to be my Darn Tough socks. I really like this length as opposed to the longer ones. And then over top of those is going to be my shoe that I'm going to be wearing, and that's going to be the Altra 3.5s. I currently bought like 3 pairs of these because I started having trouble finding my size. I bought these probably a few months ago, and then there were a couple sites that still had the size 13s, and then once the 4s got released, a lot of companies stopped carrying the 3.5s, especially in size 13. So I was able to pick up some black and yellow ones, but that was the only color I could find. There might be more options now. But one thing that I think a lot of people always suggest is once you find a shoe that you like, buy a few pairs, because there could be some kind of upgrade or change, and you never know if it's going to be a change for the better or the worse. So I have 3 pairs of these that my wife's going to be sending me throughout the trail. If I do need to switch out shoes at some point, I might try out a different brand, or who knows. But these are what I'm going to be starting out with. Okay. On top of that is going to be my gaiters. So basically what gaiters are they basically go over your foot, your ankle right here, and then they attach to your shoe, kind of like this. And it kind of prevents rocks or mud or different things like that from getting inside your shoe. So I really like these. They're made by a company called Dirty Girl. They have all these different patterns. These are bacon pattern, but they just clip to the front of your shoe, and then some shoes have a little Velcro thing on the back, and you just attach the Velcro there, and then it keeps stuff from getting in your shoes. So I really like those. Moving on up is going to be the boxers I'm going to be wearing. My wife was like, why are you putting boxers in your video? But everybody wants to know what kind of boxers you're going to wear. These are a company called Pair of Thieves. You get them from Target, and they're like a synthetic. I'm a bigger guy, so I always get the longer size. Above that is going to be my my base layer, and this is actually a company called Climatesmart. I got these at Kohl's. This is the midweight version. If you hear people talk about cuddle duds, these I believe are made by Cuddle Duds, but it's called Climatesmart base layer. I might be wrong, they might not be Cuddle Duds at all, but they feel pretty soft. Then on top of that, I'm going to be wearing shorts. I know a lot of people were like, you're leaving in February and you're wearing shorts. Well, I'm going to have a base layer underneath that. And then I'll talk a little bit about my layering system afterwards, but it's going to be these are just and-one shorts that I got from Walmart. The thing I like about these, and I don't see in a lot of and-one shorts, is at the bottom, I don't know if you can see that, but they have kind of like a separation. It kind of helps with movement and ventilation, which I won't need at the beginning, but I'm hoping these will work. And then moving on up is what I'm going to have is my shirt base layer, which is going to be the WoolX Merino Wool t-shirt. It's in this bright color because I tried other shirts. I bought a Patagonia Capilene quarter zip, and I bought it in a 2XL because I wear a 2XL, and it was just really tight. So I might have it sent to me later on in the trail. It was just really tight for a 2XL, and they don't make a 3XL. I was kind of weary of some of the sports brands. I even went to REI and tried on, I think it was an REI 2XL merino wool shirt, and it didn't quite fit right, and they don't make a 3XL. So I decided to get one from Amazon and just kind of try it out. The cheapest one I could find was like 35 bucks, and it was this one, and it's because it's in the yellow. I guess nobody likes yellow. I don't have a problem with neon colors, as you'll probably notice from a lot of my other gear picks, but the cheaper colors are the ones that nobody wants. So I got these. Luckily they fit, so I ended up getting another shirt, but it's made by a company called WoolX. I guess we'll find out how durable it is on the trail, and if I need to get another one, I'll definitely be going with this brand if it works out. And then my top layer for just kind of when I'm hiking is going to be another neon color. This is just a Nike running jacket, whatever you call it. I like it because one, it has the zip right here at the front, so if I'm getting hot I can always unzip it. And then two, it's got these little nice thumb loops on the ends, and it's a bright color, so if I end up going off the trail or something like that, I always got a bright color so people can see me. Okay, next thing up is going to be my winter gear, or like my seasonal gear. For my headgear, I'm going to have just this regular hat, and then for like sun gear and that kind of stuff. And then for like my winter headgear, it's going to be, I got this little, I don't know what you call it, but basically it's like something that goes over your face, except for your eyes, just to kind of keep the wind off. Other thing I'm going to have is just my regular beanie. This is a Zpacks fleece beanie. Next up is going to be what I'm going to wear on my hands, and that is going to be these Possum Down gloves, also from Zpacks. They aren't Zpacks brand, but they sell them. They're pretty dang warm. Also, when they get wet, I found they don't soak through, like from snow and stuff. Rain, I'm sure it'll soak through, but when I was just scraping my car off, I was using these to actually scrape the car off, and the water was not coming through. So I'm looking forward to seeing how these work. They're pretty warm either way. So next is what I'm going to be wearing on the outside of those. It's actually going to be these Zpacks rain mitts. One thing I'm kind of concerned about is if I'm using my phone or anything touchscreen. These and my Possum Down gloves, neither of them you'll be able to use on a phone. So if I do have to take off, or if I do have to use a phone or anything, I do have to take these off to use it. So I'm not really looking forward to that, but we'll see. Next is going to be my puffy, which is the Enlightened Equipment Apex Torrid jacket in blue and then orange on the inside. Another reason I got neon color here is because I do a lot of hiking in southern Illinois, so if it's hunting season, I want to be visible and I want people to see me coming. So I have a backpack that's orange. If I for some reason need to turn this inside out. Next thing I want to show you is going to be my rain gear, and it's actually rain gear, but it's also wind gear. One thing that you'll notice a lot of people talk about is there's no real good rain gear, because regardless of the rain gear, it's either gonna soak through because of the rain, or it's gonna you're gonna get wet because of all the sweat. So people try to get pit zips in their jackets and that kind of stuff. The biggest thing I'm going to be using mine for is probably the wind factor in February, just keeping that wind off. And I did decide to go with the jacket and the pants. I was going to leave the pants at home, but because of the wind, I'm definitely going to be taking the pants. So that is the Frogg Toggs. So super lightweight, super inexpensive. I got the pants here, and then I got the jacket here, Frogg Toggs brand. We'll see how this layering system works out. If I need to pick anything up at Neil's Gap or have something sent to me, I will. But I'm hoping this layering system will work. Next thing is on my winter gear is going to be these things. I'm not looking forward to bringing these because they are so heavy. But they're necessary, I guess. One of my biggest fears is falling, slipping on some ice, and then that just ruins you. So starting in February, I wanted to make sure I had something. When I saw these, they didn't look very heavy, but once I got them in my hand, they are so heavy. I bet they're at least a pound, which I know a pound is not that much, but when you're talking pounds, ounces add to pounds, pounds add to pain. So yeah, so basically what these are crampons. You put these on your shoes and they keep you from sliding around, basically. So I'm going to be carrying these at least through the Smokies. Depending on how it looks when I get through there, I'll decide whether I'm going to ditch them. Okay, next is everything that's going to be in my pack, whether it's extra clothing or stuff that I'm going to be using some of the time and not all the time. But to start off with, that is going to be what I'm going to be keeping all of it in, and it's this Sea to Summit Evac Event waterproof 20 liter. A lot of you probably think that's way too big. I would agree. What I'm also going to have in here is my my quilt and my sleeping bag liner. The reason I like this bag so much is because once you put everything in here, you can compress it down and the air comes out the bottom, but it doesn't let the air back in. So I really like this as far as keeping all my clothing and my sleeping bag nice and dry. As far as extra clothes, for my feet, I'm going to have 2 extra pairs of Darn Tough socks. These are both the same as the ones I showed earlier. The Hiker Trek, or I'm not sure what kinds these are. Maybe I'll put a description up ahead with the weight and that kind of stuff of these. Next is going to be what I'm going to be sleeping in, or if I need a heavier layer when I'm hiking, I'll have that as well. And it's the Climatesmart, like I was talking about earlier, except this is the heavyweight version. So these will be my sleeping pants or anything like that, in case I have to get out of my tent and go to the latrine or that kind of stuff. I'll just have these on and run out, run back. I am going to have an extra merino wool shirt. This I bought after I found out that the sizes worked for me. It's a little more flattering of a color, and I won't stand out as much. But that's also made by WoolX. I'm going to have another extra pair of Thieves with me, and then I'm going to have an extra hiking layer. This is actually the Columbia Silver Ridge. I don't know. But anyways, it's a long sleeve. Well, you can roll them up. And it's got the back vent. And I decided I'd just start with this just in case. Maybe it gets too warm and I don't want to wear my Running Qtr Zip, but I still want something that's got long sleeves. I got this for that. Other things I'm going to be taking, this is actually going to be what I'm going to be wearing. It's going to be good old Survivor buff. Cook Islands. Me and my wife both got these for our wedding. Shout out to the Yayas for that. But I really like these. I use it for when I run. Gonna be wearing it over my face. If I want to wear it over my head, wear it over my arms, whatever I need. But I'll use this to wipe snot, wipe my glasses off, whatever I need to use that for. Last piece of clothing gear, which is kind of clothing gear. It's kind of a luxury item for me, but I think it's necessary, is these running calf sleeves. I wore these when I ran and that kind of stuff. I'm gonna look at more of like recovery methods and that kind of thing. I want to kind of do some, I know a lot of hikers, when they get to camp at night, they just want to go to bed. I want to make sure that I do some stretching and that kind of stuff. So I gotta learn how to do some of like yoga, that kind of stuff, stretching, and then I want to learn more on like when the proper time to use these stretchy compression things are. But it's all a learning experience. And as far as clothing, I think that's it. So we'll see you in the next one.